Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Call Goldbridge, call the United Stand, whatever you want to call it. Get calling it, get involved, like, comment, Skype, Mark.Goldbridge I think it is, or Mark Goldbridge, get Skyping, we'll take your call straight away. Just want to say sorry to everybody last night, it was a fantastic show. For some reason the live stream worked perfectly, then the YouTube processing goes rubbish, so we had to take it down. So we will try and get some of those guests on. We're on every night this week at 8:30, remember. And I also want to say thanks to Drawty Devil. You can follow him on Twitter for sorting out the studio for us tonight, the new Skype studio for the United Stand. But let me get your live comments up. Always important to do that. And what we're really looking for tonight, obviously come on and tell us what you think, but I think the big event, and I think we've titled it appropriately, is Jose Mourinho, right or wrong to criticise Manchester United players publicly? I know what I think, I know what some of the other people think, I want to know what you think. Is it right or wrong? And actually, you know what, I'd quite like to get a few people coming on telling us why they think it isn't good enough. Why isn't it? Why shouldn't he do it? If you know, I'm sensing that some people aren't happy with Jose, so let's see. Okay, Mark, you can mention me, says Louise O'Donoghue. In Jose we trust. Evening, Mark, says Lynn Hall. Sound, are we all right for sound? Mark, hello from Sweden, says Hannibal. No sound, Mark, says Angolo. You're the only one saying there's no sound. So can we just get confirmed that we've got sound before we start taking Skype calls? We need to play Mkhitaryan, he's right. It's Mourinho, poo. I'm going to take a call and just let us know if there's any issues with the sound, because as far as I know, it should be fine. But obviously, if it's not, we need to know. Rules of the game, as I go to Skype now, just to take our first call. Rules of the game, when we've got a caller on, please don't Skype. It just fills up our screen. I'll have to start blocking people off because it fills our screen up. I'm not going to answer a call, obviously, if we're live with another call. Sounds okay now, says Angola. That's good to know. And we've got Connor first in. Hello, Connor. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks. We did have you on last night, so it's good that you've come back on for us. I don't know what went wrong with the video last night. So, first question up then, Connor. You were on last night for us. What's your thoughts on Mourinho and whether he's right or wrong to criticise players in public?
I don't think it's right. Like, they deserve to be criticised privately because they're on thousands of pounds a week, and they're not playing well enough. But in public, just undermines their confidence and it doesn't help them improve. But certain players would respond to it, but I don't think some of them would.
Yeah, I mean, specifically for those who aren't aware, Chris Smalling actually tweeted out this morning that he was having a lovely morning stroll in a frosty morning, he said, and he had a picture of a frosty thing. He got a few tweets. I think ours was, don't go walking on any ice because you're already on thin ice with Jose. But, you know, he's been criticised, Luke Shaw's been criticised. I think the problem, I mean, Connor, are you personally, are you a fan of people like Luke Shaw and Chris Smalling, and that's why you're doing it? Is there any particular players that you wouldn't have a problem with him outing? You know, maybe a Fellaini or Rojo. Is it more to do with the players he's done it to, or do you think it's just wrong in general?
I think it's just wrong in general. Like, Fellaini isn't good enough, but I still wouldn't like if he was criticising him publicly.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. I'm going to get a few on it before I think, because I do want to get what everyone else thinks about it as well. But Skype ID is Mark Goldbridge or Mark.Goldbridge, so do Skype in. Like I said, when we've got like Connor on at the moment, don't bother Skyping because I won't answer it. But I'll let you know when we're looking for other ones. But and very quickly, we've got an international break now. There's a number of players that I you might know more than me, but obviously Smalling's not there, not doing anything internationally. Luke Shaw's not. We've heard that Luke Shaw is training on his own, double sessions or something today. In some ways, I understand what you're saying about the public thing, but actually having a go at them might actually be a kick up the backside, make players work harder. So, I mean, it's not necessarily wrong to have a go at people, just maybe the way he's gone about it.
Yeah, I would agree. Privately is grand, like, that's good. But in public, it's just, I don't think it's fair on them, like.
Yeah, I mean, we can't be hypocrites, can we? Because a lot of us said last year that although he was our reserve keeper, Valdez when Van Gaal did it. Not many people liked that, so you can't suddenly say, well, it's okay, I suppose. But thanks for coming on, Connor. Hopefully this one will load up fine. I think everything is looking all right tonight, so hopefully it won't just be a live video. You'll be able to watch it back again. But thanks for calling in, pal. I'm glad we got you back on.
All right, bye.
Cheers, pal. I lived in Ireland for a few years, just to let you know. When somebody in Ireland says grand, it means good. There we go. Shane Posket, we have quality like Carrick and Schweini who can play in the midfield. Flaney out of Belgium squad with calf injury, says Sam H. And let's accept that. Right, I'm going to take another call. There is somebody who was meant to be calling from last night. I am keeping an eye out for you. Let's have a look at. Let's take this one. It's an interesting one potentially because they do have a Liverpool badge, but we've had somebody put a City badge up before to get on, and they're a United fan. Yakov, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You're a bit quiet, mate. Are you a Liverpool fan?
No, I'm not a Liverpool fan.
Oh, right. Okay. What? Speak up for me then, and what's your point you'd like to make?
I'd like to make the point that Man United are doing well at the moment, but I'm quite worried that they're a bit inconsistent with their form. And I think we'll beat Arsenal, but I don't think we're good enough to win the title.
Okay, I can hardly hear you, so I'm going to have to end it, unfortunately. But I think what you said is you're not happy with the form at the moment. You think we will beat Arsenal, but you don't think we'll win the league. Just shout up if that's what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Yakov. Sorry about that. I don't know why. Sometimes it's a bit like that. Apologies, but people aren't hearing it very well. But certainly try again, and we'll get you on. All right.
Yeah.
Cheers, pal. Thanks for calling in. Yeah, Arsenal on the horizon, as we well know. Jacob Evans, let's get you on. I don't know what, Jacob, what? I don't want that to happen. Trying to get a caller here. Right, this guy phones in a lot, so Salim, the floor's yours. I know you phone in a lot, so I hope you've got something good to say.
I want to talk about Jose Mourinho.
Okay.
And basically, like, he's struggling with selection. I think as his assistant manager, like the selection, like sobs him that.
You think we need an assistant manager?
Yeah.
Salim, the floor's yours. I know you've got anybody in mind?
Yeah. You know.
I think we've lost him. That's a shame because Salim does try to call in quite a lot, but not a fantastic start with the audios and everything so far. I'm trying to get hold of people. Yeah, I know we'll get hold of Sander. Evening, Sandy. You alright, pal?
Yeah, not too bad, you?
Yeah, I'm very good, thanks. Obviously, Sander's been on before. I'll go straight in with this question for you, Sander, as somebody has been before. The Jose Mourinho publicly slating players. I think a lot of fans think it's fine to slate players as a manager, but a lot of people are not happy that he's done it publicly. Where do you stand on that?
I think, to be honest, I think people need to grow up a bit. It's, in my opinion, it's fine for the managers to go. Like, he didn't have a good game. He didn't. I don't like the way he's acting at the moment. He needs to sort himself out. I think maybe it's probably best to do it personally first, and if that doesn't work, then take it to the media because maybe it will have a bigger effect on him. Obviously, we don't know what's gone on in the background, but if that is the case, that he's talked to them personally and they've not changed their attitude or whatever it is, and he's gone to the media and tried to have an effect, then for me, that's fine. Mourinho, do your thing. If it works, it works. You know what I mean? You can't really tell him how to manage because he's been so successful in the past. So, what he's done has worked for him. And so, to be honest, if it was me, I'd just say, do your thing. Yeah, what's your opinion on that, Mark?
Well, I'm just reading some of the comments, and Jamie Boyd says players apparently seem baffled. I'm pretty sure the players are baffled. I mean, from my point of view, just very quickly, this is a lazy bunch of players for the last 3 years who've forgotten how to even have a title challenge. I'm sorry, if you want an omelette, you've got to break a few eggs. I don't have a problem with him publicly having a go at players. And the only reason why, and I don't know what you think about this, Sandra, or anybody else watching, I'd rather know who he's got a problem with, just because I'm nosy, than it be behind closed doors. So I think as a fan, it's great to know who he's having a pop
Yeah.
at, because if we don't know and he's going to do it, we don't know. So I understand why people say, oh, it should be done behind closed doors, but you know what? We wouldn't know what was going on with Smalling and Shaw if he hadn't come out and said that. And actually, he might sell them both in January, and we'd be like, why has he done that? At least we know now.
Yeah, and exactly, like, clarity is all we want as fans, isn't it? We just want clarity. We want to know what's going on because, you know, it is our club as well. So we're naturally nosy. So I think it's great to have someone finally come out and tell the truth and not just say what's scripted, essentially. Do you know what I mean? What all the players do, it's so scripted. You know, you can't take anything from the press conferences and stuff because you've all been told what to say and media trained. So for Mourinho, that's what we love about Mourinho as well, isn't it? The feistiness and the kind of rawness of him just to come out and go, you know, these players have got an attitude problem. They need to change if they want to play under me and more for United. If not, I'm sorry, you're out the door. That's how we run now. And I'd much rather have that than him to be a pushover and be like, oh, that's fine. You know what I mean? That's okay. Because firstly, when we appointed Mourinho, we knew we were not getting some kind of pushover softy. We knew we were getting a man who was there to change the club and get us back to winning ways, right? So we cannot then be moaning that he's been, you know, calling players out for, you know, a good reason. It's not like he's calling them out for no reason at all. Like that game that called Luke Shaw out, it's not like he had the best game, a really good game, and he was calling him out for no reason. He called him out because he played bad, right? If that's the way he wants to do it, and that's the way he wants to organise his players, that's the way he does that, and we should just let him do it, in my opinion.
No, I totally agree. Thanks for calling in, Sander, as per usual. Good points. I'm sure we'll have you on again, getting more and more regular on the United Stand. And as always, as a lot of people are saying in the live comments, very good points. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Nice one. Cheers.
Cheers. Speak to you soon. I think it's a good point, and I think also one player I forgot to mention, Mkhitaryan. We want him to play, but we pretty much know why he's not playing. Not working hard enough, not the right attitude. That's disappointing because I think he's a great player. But I think you've just got to back the manager. But I do want to get a few of your other thoughts. Mark O has been phoning in a few times, so I think I heard him last night as well. Mark, can you hear me?
I can indeed, buddy. How you doing?
I'm not too bad, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty cool. For the game last week, the last game that we had, I'm actually not that bothered how we played. As long as we win, as long as we're getting 1 point, I don't care what happens. Any team that we put out, we should be winning regardless. And I think Damian, a guy laughed at me in the comment and he said that Damian shouldn't play on the left. Damian does very well for Italy on the left. And I still think that Depay can still do a job here. I think all of the players that we have are pretty decent, but I think that we really need to change our formation. And this is what I think we should be playing. Can you see that?
No, I think. Oh, no, whoa, we probably can. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, we should be able to. Let me just clear some of these Skype calls that are still coming in, even though we've got a caller up. It's hard to see, but I might be able to.
So it's a 3-4-3.
Yeah.
And I think that Blint, Bailly, and Smalling should be in the back. Young, Pogba, and Carrick and Mkhitaryan should be in the middle. Martial, Ibrahimovic, and Mata. To be honest, I think one of the most important people that we have on the team is Daley Blint. He's a central defensive midfielder. He's been pushed back into centre back, and he plays for left back as well. I think that his experience in centre back for the past 2 years are going to be totally invaluable. The second that we get a central defender and Blint can push back up into the middle, I think he's going to be a very, very good player for us.
Yeah, obviously carrying an injury against Swansea. Can I just ask you, Mark, a question?
Of course you can.
More, I know people we've sort of done the publicly whether it's right or wrong thing. By all means, answer that. But one question I do want to start asking people, and I've noticed it a lot on Twitter today. I'm seeing more and more United fans, not a massive amount, but more and more, not the right man. I never wanted Mourinho. I'm not convinced he's the right man. And I think this is sort of post. I think a few fans, I think Gary Neville and a couple of other players have sort of alluded to it, that when we sacked Moyes, we lost our identity of a club that sticks with certain legacies and ways of doing things. And I think that's upset a few fans. Where do you stand on that? Are you happy with Mourinho? Do you think he's definitely the right choice?
Things have obviously not worked, so it's time for change. That is why I've picked this formation. Like everyone, we need the people that we have are not that good right now. I think everyone can agree on that. So the formation that I've picked, everyone can cover everyone and everyone can move up. People like Martial and Depay, if it's just like Hazard. Obviously they're not at the quality of Hazard right now, but they don't need to come back. If they can't track back, don't let them track back. If they're good at pushing forward, do it. And when it comes to Mourinho and the players, if you're not good enough, you have to get out. If Cristiano Ronaldo's if he's not doing his job, get him out. It doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what you've done or what state we're living in the now. And if you're not doing it for now, you need to get out. So I think he's doing the right thing.
Great. Brilliant call, Mark. I don't think we've had you on before. Where are you calling from?
I'm a Brit living in Belgium.
You've not been on before, have you?
This is the second time.
I knew I get to notice the things, but I didn't notice your brilliance last time. So I just wanted to say what a fantastic call it was. Whereabouts in Belgium are you?
I'm right next to Brussels.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll definitely have. Go on.
And one more thing, my mum. I'm from Trinidad originally, but my mum used to be in the same class as Dwight York.
Ah, right. What, in Trinidad?
Yeah. In Trinidad, yeah.
There you go. Hot off the press. Well, all the best to you, and
yeah, thank you very much, buddy.
And we'll definitely get you on again, Mark. Very, very good points.
All right. It was awesome. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Very good points, and that's what we want from people when they come on. The floor is yours. If you've got something that you've been thinking about all day, obviously Mark had plans that. Come on and give it. I'll ask a question about what we want to talk about, but come on and give your opinion. I'm really, really impressed by that by Mark. Exactly why we want to do more of these shows. Exactly why we're taking this path. And very quickly, just before I take another call, the Football Blogging Awards. I'm not trying to get you to vote again. I'm not going to go clicking off. This is how you vote. You've done all that. Thank you very much. Football Blogging Awards next Thursday. I did tweet it out, but I appreciate you're not all on Twitter. It's next Thursday, a week on Thursday at Old Trafford. We have got a VIP table, the United Stand, with 10 people on it. We've had a couple come up. We were looking to keep a couple back anyway, so we've got a couple of tickets. I think the retail price is around 50 quid. You get drink, meal, and sit with us a night out at Old Trafford. You've got to live in the UK. We can't fly you in, unfortunately. But if you want to enter, please do comment on the video below, and I'll have a look tomorrow at who's commenting. Just let us know, and we'll certainly we're going to pick one tomorrow evening. So get commenting on the live comments of this video. Not the live comments, the comments of this video. So you'll have to revisit it about half an hour when it's processed. But just take a note of it. If you're interested in coming, free night out, free drink, free booze. There'll be loads of celebrities there, Stan Collymore, loads of journalists and stuff. But you'll be sat with us on the table. I think it'll be a really good night in Manchester. So thanks for that. Let's take another phone call. Ryan.
Please do comment on
Ryan.
Hello.
Hello. Are you alright, mate?
Yeah, how are you? You alright?
Yeah, very good, thanks. Have you been on before?
Oh, have you gone? Pardon?
Have you been on before?
No, first time.
Brilliant. Okay, where are you calling from, Ryan?
Kent.
Kent. Okay, have you got anything you want to ask, or do you want me to just fly into the question that we're talking about tonight?
No, I've got nothing. Go ahead,
No worries. Okay, so as I was asking Mark there, a lot of United fans back Mourinho. I know that for a fact. But more and more I'm seeing, I don't understand it because we won at the weekend. But I think what it is to do with is it's these negative comments about people they like especially Luke Shaw, I think. A lot of United fans don't like that, and I'm seeing little bits of people not so sure if he's the right man anymore. What's your thoughts on Mourinho? Do you think he's doing a good job? Have you got any concerns about him as United manager?
You've got to stick with him. I think he's won the Champions League with Porto. I know that was a long time ago, but he did. He's proved he's a winner. He's won things with Real Madrid. Chelsea, took him 2 seasons on his return. He won the league. When we sacked Ferguson, I think Mourinho was one of the managers we could have potentially got, and people were saying, let's go for him. However, we didn't go for him because he's not a long-term manager. Now, how come? Why? Now we've got him, just because he's having a couple of bad run results, we're now not backing him, which is,
I think it's because people don't like, and everyone's got a right to an opinion, that people don't like the public slating of players. Where do you stand on that?
I think players go through bad patches, don't they? You've seen it with a lot of players, they do go through bad patches, and then Mourinho does get the best out of players. I think he could turn players around.
And what are you thinking about this season? I mean, where is you as a United fan? Where are you realistically thinking what we're gonna get out of this season?
I think in top 4. I think the league's. I'm not gonna say the league isn't gone because anything could change. It's a Premier League. but I think top 4 would be good for us. Where we are now, I think top 3, top 4, that would be really good for us this season. Get into Champions League for next season, get all the players out of the Europa League, get them focused on the Champions League, and see what we can do from there.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy with top 4, to be honest. Ryan, just very quickly, it's a question I like to ask. It gets asked to me loads of times. Who's your current favourite Manchester United player?
Usually, it's when a new big player signs is my favourite player. But actually, I think the way I think Mata's been playing, or Herrera, them two. I think this season have been really good for us, and they've created a lot of chances. And if the strikers like Ibra could finish, then we might be a couple of places higher from their assists.
Yeah, we definitely should have another 4 points, I think. But brilliant debut, Ryan. Hard to follow, Mark, but I think you did absolutely fantastic. So well done. Definitely get you on again, and thanks for Skyping in.
Yeah, thanks very much. Enjoyed it.
Cheers, Ryan. Brilliant. That's 2 in a row. Brilliant, and keep it coming. Well, what I'm going to say is I'm going to try this phone here, but I'm getting wise. I might be a bit slow up in the take. I'm getting a bit wise about people putting up Liverpool pictures to try and get on. If you're a United fan, I don't know. I'm going to throw it to the live comments as to whether we should just kill you off for fraud. But let's see what this is. Somebody called City the Best. Now that would maybe mean he's a City fan. If it's not a City fan, it's old Solomon again playing the fraud game. Solomon, the problem we've got with you, pal, is we can't really hear you.
I don't know why.
You are?
My question is, Jose Mourinho?
Yeah.
Jose Mourinho, basically, he showed ask his assistant manager, one of the United coach. I handed it over to my brother. Why? I can't say. Do you know? I don't know what I say. Jose Mourinho, he showed do a signing, like Griezmann.
Okay, thanks, Solomon.
Oh my God. Call him as well. See ya.
Thank you. Oh, you know what? I reward perseverance, but yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out for him. I was just about to do this cop bloke, but he's disappeared. So, we'll take another call. Tahir, I don't know what he was saying, to be honest. End the call. Yeah, the call's gone. Don't worry about that. Here he goes. Let's see if we can get. Let's see if this is a genuine Liverpool fan. Proper Copper is the name. Can you hear me?
Yo, Mark, can you hear me?
Yeah, got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Liverpool fan, are you? Are you a Liverpool fan?
Yeah, I'm a Liverpool fan.
Oh, good. Okay, so we'll get a little bit of a different side of things, which we welcome on the show.
Sorry about the camera's broke.
Okay, what you got to say, pal?
Well, I saw a video that you put up. It must have been like towards the start of the season, and you were adamant that United were going to win the league. You didn't give anyone else a sniff. And I've been watching your videos recently, and you're talking about battling for top 4. And after all the money you've spent and how confident you all were at the beginning of the season, don't you think it's kind of embarrassing that now you're all stepping back saying, do you know what, there's a lot of deadwood in this team. We can't compete for the league until he cleans out the deadwood. The deadwood was there when you made your prediction at the start of the season, when you all made your predictions. And now I think you're all looking for excuses, really. And you have to look at the manager sometimes. You really do.
I agree.
And what are you doing with your players? What he used to do was bring everything on himself. And now he's looking for scapegoats himself. Look, United fans, they scapegoat Rooney and Fellaini. He's scapegoating Shaw, Smalling. What are your thoughts?
I think it's a brilliant question. I think it's very fair, and I'll always answer one like that. You know what? I do remember it very vividly what I said, and I regret it obviously now because it's so wrong. But there was a point in the summer, even when we were making the signings, I was saying it's a massive job because of where we're coming back in the last 3 years. But I think I fell into the trap like a lot of fans. Mourinho for me, statistically, I don't care what anybody says, he's the best manager in the world when you look at his statistics. You look at what the signings we made, Zlatan, goal every other game, Pogba, who I think is a very good player, and then you look at what we've already got. And yeah, you know what, with hindsight, I never should have said it. I think a lot of United fans shouldn't have said it. We won the first 3 games of the season. But I think what the problem with Manchester United is, I shouldn't have said we were going to win the title. I look an idiot for it. I think every United fan does. You know, maybe we will win it. I don't think we will. But I would stand by the fact that we have got a hell of a lot of lazy, deadwood players in our team that need to go. You mentioned Fellaini, not a Manchester United player. You mentioned Wayne Rooney. I think he will still do a job, but he is on a decline. But that's why I asked the last caller, and I'll ask it you as a Liverpool fan. Where do you think United are going to finish this season? Do you think Mourinho is going to take us worse than Van Gaal did, or do you think he will turn it around like I do?
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want me to be perfectly honest with you?
Yeah, that's the point of the show.
I know I'm going to piss a lot of your fans off, but the ways are at the minute, there's not a chance you can come top 4. You've got Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Manchester City. And you're always constantly talking about, the gap isn't too big and this and that. And you're always like, they're going to drop points, they have to face each other. Yeah, you have to face us all again. You can't beat teams like Watford. You know what I mean? And I saw a tweet you did the other day, and you were like, Burnley, Leicester and Stoke were the best performances you've had this season. It's looking so good. Is that really something to be proud of, that your best performances came at home against Burnley, at home against Stoke, who were doing diabolical at that point, and against Leicester, who everyone's slapping off, even West Brom slapped them off? Where's these good performances coming against Liverpool? Where's these good performances coming against Tottenham? Where these good performances Chelsea? Where these good performances coming in the Europa League? You drew against 2 terrible teams in Burnley and Stoke, and I know we lost against them, but we did exactly what you did, bombarded the goal and that, and we don't look back on that performance and say, that's one of our best performances. You know what I mean? You slapped up weak teams, and you look at that as, it's different to the Van Gaal area and all that, and I get those games looked good, but you got to think about it, is it really that different? I know you play slightly better football, but you're not getting the results either way.
You know what? Sometimes you've got to take it on the chin, folks. I know you will have upset a lot of United fans. I can see it on the live comments. But, and Daz7 saying you've murdered me. I could have jumped in and said a lot of derogatory things, but you know what? Liverpool are top of the league. We're not top of the league. And
when you was on about the other day, like Liverpool fan coming on saying, we're going to win the league, we're not going to win. I don't think we're going to win the league. I think it's between Chelsea and Manchester City. I think we will come top 4, but the difference between the teams that are above you at the moment in that top 4 is we all look really good, whereas you look good against bad teams and you still can't get the points against those bad teams. And Swansea were diabolical, so you can't say, it's a game changer and Mourinho has he answered back to his critics and all that, because he hasn't. You can't spend the money you've spent and go to Anfield to park the bus and play for a point. I know you say it's a good point, but you can't go to Anfield. And you did the same when you went to Stamford Bridge. You went and you played for a point. And look what happened. I don't
think you can say that we went to Stamford Bridge to get a point, to be honest, because that game was over in 30 seconds, wasn't it?
You went there for a point. You played a team for a point, and your game plan got ruined. Your game plan got ruined in 30 seconds, and Mourinho looked like a man who had no idea how to change that situation on the sidelines. He hadn't got a clue. Even your own fans were like, when you're 2-0 down, you have to make a sub. And he just made the wrong subs. He constantly makes the wrong subs. And there is going to come a point, and you can mark my words, United fans and you're going to be Jose out because he has lost it.
Thanks for coming on, pal. I've given you 6 minutes to talk. Interesting to see what people are going to say. By
the way, Mark, I do like what you do with your channel. I wish like a Liverpool fan channel did it with all the Skype calls and that, so do like that. So
I appreciate that, and I think people are saying, you've let him speak, but That's the whole point of this show. I'm not going to be rude to people who come on from rival channels unless they're rude to me. He's made good points that he believes in. Thanks for coming on. I'm not going to jump all over you. That's not the way these shows are going to run. So thanks for coming on, pal.
Awesome.
Cheers. The only thing I would say about that, and I don't want to say it behind his back because it's not fair, is maybe we were parking the bus against Chelsea, but when Smalling does that after 30 seconds, you don't know. And I just think so many players didn't perform. Burnley and Stoke, we battered him, didn't we? We didn't score goals. But we do need to do it against the better teams. But I'm not going to be Mourinho out. I would say that. I'm not going to be Mourinho out. I think a few Man United fans may become Mourinho out. And I think Swansea were diabolical. And I think if we'd not beaten Swansea, I was almost saying top four's in jeopardy. So, in fairness, I think he raised some good points. As horrible as that is to say that, Wayne Littlewood saying the same. Liverpool 27 years without a league, says St Columba. Yeah, we can do all that. We can do all that, and then we can prevent other rival fans coming on the show. And that's not what we want to do. I'll rant and do that with the best of them, as you know. But if somebody's willing to come on a United Stand channel and speak like that, quite honestly, and not be abusive, then I'm not going to jump all over them. Sue me. Michael, William, let's get you on next. Michael, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello? I think we've got him. Can you hear me still?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you. Yeah. Right, mate, you're on?
Yeah.
What are you not United fan?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you want to say, Michael?
It was on last night's show when you was on about the left back situation with Luke Shaw.
Oh, yeah.
I think we should go out and probably try and get Patrick Evra back to the club.
Now this is an interesting point. I did hear about this yesterday. Today, somebody saying that. I don't know whether it was you on Twitter, but I've heard it today. So you think Evra can? I mean, that's a controversial one. Why do you think Evra can still do a job at United?
He's got the passion. He's a good leader. He knows what it is to play at United. He's focuses on defending. He's not full out attacking. He's better than Rojo, who I do not want to see in a United top again. And he's second choice at Juventus at the moment under Alexandro, so he has a good chance to get him in January.
Yeah, I think that is one thing I would agree with, really, is that we do desperately lack leaders in the team, don't we? I've said it a number of times, and whatever people think about Rooney, he's not a leader for me. Can I just ask you, when it comes to Mourinho, I don't know whether you heard the Liverpool caller there. I think, rival fans, whatever, I didn't really come across as, I'm sure he can't stand United, doesn't think Mourinho's the right man, got us playing negative football, miles off the top four. The reason I couldn't really defend it is because, one, I'm not going to do that as a presenter, but two, we have got a mountain to climb as far as I'm concerned. What are your thoughts on that?
Sorry, what did you say?
In relation to Mourinho, do you think he is the right man for Manchester United, and do you think we are miles off top four?
I don't think we're miles off top four. You could see it with City and Chelsea last year. They've got players, but sometimes they just don't turn up. They could go in a bad run of form easily. And we're just picking up form now. And I think we will beat Arsenal after the international break. We'll be 3 points off of them. And apparently they're one of the title favourites. So I don't think we're too far off.
Good. And where do you think we'll finish this season? If I had to press you on it, where do you think we would finish this season?
Third or second.
Good.
I would probably say third.
To be honest, I'd be happy with that, Michael. Thanks for calling in. Where are you calling from? Sorry. He's already gone. Was breaking up a little bit, and again, another good caller. What was I going to do next? I think the Liverpool fans getting quite a lot of comments on there. You know what? I understand it because it's Liverpool, but I think what he said actually made a lot of sense. And you know what? Sometimes it's interesting. I find it is interesting to get a rival fan's view when they're not just being abusive. That's what we are perceived at the moment. And whether you like it or not, they did come and we did go there for a point. I didn't it didn't sit right with me. I think we showed Liverpool way too much respect at Anfield, but we should have won the games. Latin had a good chance. Skype stopped working. Okay, that's the end of that for the moment. I'll have to download that. Alec says you can't say anything till Christmas. Just while I'm reloading up Skype, we will take another call. Please do like the video. This is, as you can see, it's not the Mark Goldbridge show, it's your show. If it was the Mark Goldbridge show, maybe I would have jumped in on a few things today, but that's not the way we roll on this. It is your show. Please like it if you like the concept, and get involved and have your say on it. If you feel passionately that the Liverpool fan was wrong, then come on and have your say about it. Simple as that. I'm trying to get a phone caller on that we haven't had before. A few of you calling in now. I think we've had. Let's see if we can get this person. Tony, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. 1 second. Tony, turn it up.
Yeah. Tony, I think we've had you on before, pal, haven't we?
Yeah, a couple of times.
Okay. Anything particular you want to say, Tony?
Oh yeah, with the last caller, he said that Patrice Evra coming back. I think with January, maybe we could try and get Patrice Evra. It would be an improvement on our left back situation. It would be a good mentor for Luke Shaw. He knows what it is to play for Manchester United as well. I think he shouldn't have gone after Vidic and Ferdinand, and I think Scholes as well left in the same summer. Actually, no, in the summer after. But I think Evra should come back. He will be a great mentor for Luke Shaw. He's an improvement on Boho. And I think he can still do a job just by how old he is. And he's also best mates with Pogba as well.
Yeah, good point. What I would say is I was always a massive fan of Evra, but I remember even in his last couple of years at United, he was getting a lot of stick. I'd say 30% of our support was saying he's past it. He goes bombing forward and he doesn't defend as much. But then you look at what he's done in international football. I think Serie A is a lot slower. I think as an understudy, it's not a bad shout. It's a bit like Van Persie. If Van Persie came back, I'd be ecstatic. And I know a lot of people think he's past it, whatever. But it's a romantic thing, and I think he gets it. And I think Evra gets Man United a hell of a lot more. I'd agree with you. We let him go way too early. Another Moyes mistake. Too many leaders allowed to go and not replaced. But in relation to this Mourinho thing, obviously slating players publicly, some United fans starting to turn against him. I don't get that myself. Where do you stand on how Mourinho's done so far? Do you think he's made mistakes, or are you happy with what he's been doing?
I think slating Luke Shaw publicly was wrong. I think he should have said it. If he hasn't said it already to him, like in the locker room, he shouldn't have come out to do it. I think it damages the confidence of a player. It can persuade them it can motivate them. But I think maybe with the likes of Fellaini, Rooney, Zlatan, who are a bit older and more senior players, they'll be able to take the criticism publicly better. But I think maybe with Luke Shaw, Martial, or like Mkhitaryan, for example, I think they need to try and build confidence, especially in an attacker. It's part of their game.
Yeah, and just finally, Tony, I've asked it a couple of people. I always get asked it. Who's your favourite Manchester United current player?
Favourite player. I have the squad photo on my computer. I'm trying to look. I probably have to say one of the younger lads with like Pogba, Martial, Shaw, but I do like Herrera as well. But if I had to pick, it'd probably be Pogba.
Yeah. Well, you're obviously a lot younger than me, and I
Yeah.
I do like Pogba, but the whole dabbing and stuff just goes way over my head. But fantastic footballer, and I have not jumped on that bandwagon of him being a flop. I think he needs to at least Christmas, and already on Sunday he just showed what he can do. So thanks for calling in, Tony, again. Always a good caller, and I'm sure we'll get you on again soon.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Tony. See you later. There's a certain... I thought Mad Marcus has tried a couple of times. If he tries again, I will let him come on. Somebody was asking about the Skype Goldbridge, let's call it that for the moment, last night. It was a fantastic show. It was all about transfers. We can't upload it. The live stream worked, and I'm hoping the live stream has worked. It takes about half an hour for it to process afterwards, and for some reason when we put it up last night it was like and it just inaudible. crap quality. So it's lost forever. We tried to get YouTube to find it, but it's lost forever. So I will do a summary of that later on in the week, or we may revisit it later in the week. But it just seems silly to do transfer again after last night. But we will get something up. But we're doing this every night, so there's lots of you calling, lots of more and more people getting involved, which is exactly what we want you to do. So do tomorrow night again, 8:30. We'll be on. Skype us again. Get on the live comments. Like the video if you know. These are the videos where I want the most likes on them because it's you lot, and that's what we want to keep doing this. It's whether you lot want us to do it, and we'll be dictated to by how many likes these videos are getting. And thanks for the feedback on the haircuts. Apparently I've gone from looking 25 to 21, so it's worked. Marcus, can you hear me?
Yes, mate. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Maybe just go up a little bit, but I can hear you. But just for the viewers at home, just try to speak a little bit louder. I know you've always got an opinion. What is it?
Right, that Liverpool fan just now.
I knew it.
Good. Why are you going to retract your statement that we ain't going to win the league, right? We're in November. As a United fan, it ain't over until the fat lady sings. We're only 8 points off. So don't give in. Always believe. Right?
I'll jump in because I know you, Marcus. Yeah. We've had a beer together and stuff. The only reason I am retracting it is because I never should have said it in the first place, because I didn't believe it all summer, and then the hype of the start of the season, the manager I've always wanted, Zlatan, who I love, Pogba and everything like that. I fell into the giddy trap of going, yeah, we're going to win it. But I'd been saying all summer, let's not forget the 3 years we've just had. These players have let us down. We've only bought 3 or 4 players and a manager. We've still got a massive squad of people like Rojo, Jones, etc. They will be a problem. And if we win this league, I'll be ecstatic. But I will say right now, I don't think we're going to win the league. I think reality has bitten. I mean, do you think we can win the league? I just don't think we will. And I think it's because of the players. Nothing to do with the manager.
Do you know what, right? It's 8 points, right? That's nothing. We've got to play Liverpool at home. We're playing Arsenal at home, right? We got to play Chelsea at home. We win then, that's the 9 points, right? If City drop points, which they will, Liverpool are going to drop points with that squad they've got. All right, there's no European football, but that squad isn't big enough to win the league, not in a lifetime. And I think, Jose, you've got to give him time. You can't say Jose out. He's bought 4 players. We've had 3 years of crap, right? Get behind him. Who cares if he slates Luke Shaw? I heard that Luke Shaw, he took him to Swansea, and on the Sunday morning he told Jose, the day of the game, he can't play.
Exactly right, yeah.
Right, so he should slate him. Yeah. Look how much money these players are on, and they've had 3 years of doing sweet FA.
Yeah.
So let him kick them up the backside. That's what they need. Yeah. He's the boss. Do as you're told.
That's it.
And that's end of story. You don't like the way he does things, out the door.
Yeah.
That's what Fergie would have done.
Yeah.
Moyes didn't do that. His mistake. Van Gaal didn't do that. His mistake. Rooney lover. All right. Yeah. Rooney only played well because Swansea were crap. Right. It's as simple as that, mate. Not because he was out in the left wing. He was absolutely. Swansea were garbage, and they didn't get near him.
Yeah.
Who's in your fan club? Is that your other half or is that mother-in-law?
Oh yeah, that's my mother, mate, in the background.
Mother. Right, yeah. I can say, I'm just laughing because she's backing you up and saying it. I agree with it. Carry on. It's fantastic. But
she loves you, mate. She loves the show. I told you that. She was watching in the hospital bed.
Yeah.
Good.
But but that's what I think. You back him as United fans. We back him, and that's it. You don't retract your statement. I don't retract it. That we'll win it. It's 8 points. It's nothing. We don't give in to that Scousers scum across the pond, right?
We don't.
That's it. So stick with it, mate. Always believe.
Yeah.
All right. Right. I'll speak to you later.
Cheers. Thanks for coming on. Super.
Right, mate.
Brilliant.
Later.
See you later, Marcus. Lots of love for Marcus on that. You know what? I'm not struggling. This isn't really the Mark Goldbridge. I'm doing this because you deserve it. And that's the sort of thing we want. I'm not going to bollock the Liverpool fan for coming on because I think it took, a lot of people won't come on and do that sort of thing. So I applaud him for doing that. And actually, he made points from a Liverpool point of view. Marcus comes on and does it from a United point of view. this is what this show is. It's not for me to go and berate somebody who calls in when I'm meant to be, presenting it. But fantastic. Personally, I don't think we're going to win the title, and I honestly did fall into that trap of Giddism. I think we will win the title in the next 2 years, though. I have said that Mourinho wins a title in his first 2 years everywhere he goes, and I do think that will happen. But fantastic calls as ever. Going to take another one. Let me just see who's about. All right, I will let Paul on because I know he's probably just been doing the podcast. Paul, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Perfectly as ever. Those soft tones of Stevie Wonder. Go on.
I'm just going to quickly close the call and call you back with video, if that's all right.
No worries. Okay. Paul Gardner does our podcast. I'm getting him on just to see if he's actually done his job and done the podcast. But you might get to see him. There he is. Look.
There we go. You can't have velvet tones without a beautiful face to match it.
You've ruined it now. Go on.
I just done the podcast as you were saying. I noticed you were doing the Mourinho right or wrong calling. I'm guessing this is to do with his public criticisms of certain players.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course he's right. Why would he be wrong? Managers have been doing this for years. Fergie did it with Nani, Rooney. You've done it often, and it is going on now as well in the Premier League, not just with Mourinho. It's happening down at Everton, or across at Everton with Koeman, West Brom. Managers are taking players off midway through the first half or at half time and naming and shaming them in their post-match press conferences or post-match interviews. It's going on everywhere. It has been going on for a long time, but because it's Mourinho and it's Man United, it's made people are making a big deal out of it. So that's where I stand on it. I think it's absolutely fine to do it. He's not slating them to the point where he's belittling them. He's just pointing out things that, they're not sticking to a game plan or something like that. And that's just something that happens. It's been happening with managers for years, and it's still happening now in other places.
Just picking up on that, I mean, I don't want to go on too much about what I think, but I know a lot of people, I was reading it in the Mirror today, their sports editor, I did pull him up about 3 o'clock on the Twitter account actually. It was like thoughts that Mourinho's well into his meltdown again, and I said, well, thoughts about the media well into their constant undermining of our manager, because that's what they're trying to do. They're desperately trying to turn United fans against Mourinho, because that's the point, that's the tipping point then. Because if we turn against him, they've got us on side, and that's the beginning of the end. But they haven't got United fans at the moment, so they're constantly throwing out rubbish. And their big thing seems to be Chelsea. He publicly berated Chelsea players. Look what happened there. But this is different. This is different. We're not Chelsea. Manchester United support is not Chelsea support. With all due respect, come on if you're a Chelsea fan, but you've never had any history really. You are a bit mercenary because all your success is based on an oligarch. And your players down tools for Mourinho, whether rightly or wrongly. I think it's a disgrace that players down tools, whether you like the manager or not. It's the fans you should play for. Chelsea, not for the first time, they did it to Villas-Boas as well. They down tools, and Mourinho lost his job, just like Villas-Boas did. If Man United players think they're going to get away with downing tools for the third manager in a row, they're not going to get away with it. I think Mourinho is not making the same mistakes as Chelsea. I think what he's actually doing is playing a very clever game, because he knows United fans are pretty much on the brink when it comes to a lot of our players, because they've been here for 3 years, they've not performed. If he comes out and says Smalling's not doing it, Luke Shaw's not doing it, I took him to the game on a Sunday morning and he tells me not to fit, I think the vast majority of United fans are behind him, because if we hear, and I think you said it to be fair a couple of weeks ago, if we hear about players leaking stuff from the dressing room and stuff like that, some clubs might think that's great, we find that information. United fans have had enough of it. We've had enough of the players. There's not many players in that team now, I can think of probably a handful out of 24, who really deserve any sympathy. The rest of them, they're on borrowed time. And if the manager comes out and says they're not good enough, they're not trying, ship them out as far as I'm concerned.
No, absolutely, and you're right. He hasn't lost the fans at all. The media are failing and trying to get the fans to turn against him. You heard it at Swansea. I think you even heard it at Fenerbahce as well. That the fans were singing Mourinho's army. They're 100% behind the manager in general. The media aren't going to topple that. But you're right as well, saying about he was doing the same thing at Chelsea back in 2004 and 5. Calling out players. I'm not going to pretend like I've got a super memory. I did a bit of research, and I said this in the podcast a minute ago as well. I did a bit of research. Just Google managers publicly criticising players, and you'll see loads of examples of it happening all over the place. And they did actually bring up Mourinho as well, doing it to Joe Cole back in 2004, bringing him off because he wasn't putting a defensive performance in when his team were 1-0 up.
Sir Alex Ferguson, quite rightly, went on telly and did a bloody interview about Wayne Rooney asking for a transfer. Now, we all agree with that because it was wrong, but he still went out publicly and outed a player. Just because you like Luke Shaw, like a lot of you do, and just because we didn't agree with what Wayne Rooney did then, that's the biggest outing of a player I've ever seen.
In his post-match interview after Swansea, one of the reporters asked him about the defenders that didn't feature Luke Shaw, Chris Smalling. He used them as an example because Mourinho in the past said he wants players that can play through pain, etc. And he sort of criticised players for not doing that. Am I making sense? He has criticised players for not putting in 100% like John Terry's would have when Mourinho was at Chelsea. The amount of times that John Terry played through pain to, put his body on the line for the team. Mourinho's not getting that from certain players, and I think that's what the message he's trying to get across. And I think he's absolutely right to do that because when the reporter said, "Is this what you want? Is this what a player has to be to play for you, to play through pain?" Mourinho turned around and said, "No, for Man United, not for me, for Man United more." And he's absolutely spot on in saying that. It's not just him being the tyrant. This is what I want for my players. It's because of the calibre of club that he's at. This is Manchester United. And back then, Chelsea were at the top of the Premier League. When he's been at other clubs winning the league, that's the sort of players that won those leagues, players that would put in that sort of effort and play through that sort of pain. And this is clearly what's happening now. He's got players in that defence, in that squad, who aren't prepared to do that, which is why I think we've seen that massive shake-up against Swansea. Loads of players left out. We've got your Rashfords and your Marshalls left out and brought players in that we would think, hang on a minute, what the hell's going on here? And they've put the effort in, they've played well together, and they've won a game 3-1. So I'm hoping that big shake-up and players being left out is going to make some of the players think, hang on a minute, I'm easily replaceable here. And hopefully they'll up their game and, something will happen from it.
No, good points, Paul. Thanks for calling in. I agree. I just think we want players to fight for the club, and too many of them. We've had too many injuries, and I think he said that in the summer, didn't he? He did say I won't have as many injuries, but maybe he's finding out we're getting injuries because players are acting like fairies. But thanks for coming on, Paul. Podcast out tomorrow night.
It will be published tomorrow morning.
Podcast
about 7 a.m.
Watch out, it'll be tweeted off United Stand anyway, but it'll be on the United Stand website. Podcast, very worth a listen. I listened to it. Can't say why because I'll get in trouble. Speak to you later, Paul. Cheers for coming on.
No worries, cheers, mate.
It is a nice voice, cool guy. That is the voice of our podcast, Paul Gardner. So do give it a listen. It's up tomorrow, and there we go. People are asking me to get JTE on. There are callers. I don't know. I've not seen anybody with a JTE on there. So thanks everybody. We've been going for virtually an hour anyway, so we are going to wrap it up there. But we're on tomorrow night at 8:30. I'm fully aware of who's calling. I can see the names. I know who's been on. I know who's not been on. So just get Skyping in tomorrow, and we will get you on. That's why we're doing it all week. We want as many people involved as possible. All I can tell you is that it's not one or two calls. You're not being ignored. There's quite a few coming up, and we'll try and share it out. So please like the video. 500 of you watching. If you all hit like, I know you like it. The United Stand, we know you enjoy it. So please do get involved in liking the video, because I think, as much as you might not have liked the Liverpool comment, I thought it was a very interesting one. I thought Mad Marcus was brilliant. I thought Mark O was great. Let me just have a look. I've taken some notes down, but Ryan, Kieran at the start, fantastic. Some really, really good calls. And I know there's loads of you who've not been on yet who will be equally as good. So keep Skyping in. It's brilliant. And I hope you've learned something tonight. I'm not going to override. I'm not shouting over you. This is a different, laid-back Mark Goldbridge presenting a show on the United Stand, the channel that is for the fans, and that is what this concept was all about when we started it a couple of weeks ago. It's to give you a voice, and I think some of you are taking that opportunity, and superb, absolutely brilliant. And whether you support United or not, whether you're a United fan and you want to come and say something that might be against the grain about Mourinho or whatever, you will be given an opportunity to do it. As long as it's not abusive or something like that, the floor is yours, and I'm not going to undermine anybody who comes on and actually is passionate about football and has got something to say. So, you know, I'm never going to applaud a Liverpool fan, but I thought the points were quite fair. And he made a very good point about me saying we were going to win the league, which hopefully I've clarified. But I thought Mad Marcus was brilliant. But there you go. The Skype ID is Mark Goldbridge. It might be mark.goldbridge, but it's definitely Mark Goldbridge. I hope you've all enjoyed this show. Remember, if you're not watching live or you are watching live, revisit the video in about an hour's time if you're watching live, and comment below if you would like to be at Old Trafford a week on Thursday at the Football Blogging Awards on the United Stand VIP table, sat with us. You get a drink, you get a meal, and you know, Stan Collymore and people like that will be there. It's going to be a really good night at Old Trafford. So if you're interested in that, comment below once the video's not live. Don't do it in the live comments because that disappears, but just revisit the video in about an hour's time. But thanks everybody, superb. Please like the video because I think every guest's been fantastic, and I really enjoy it. It flies by, and we will be back tomorrow night at 8:30. Talking more about United. And remember, if you come on, if you've got something you want to really talk about, like some of the lads tonight, come on and do it. But we'll always have something a bit topical to talk about as well for you. I really enjoy it. This show is probably my most enjoyable show I do, and we do quite a lot of things. But I think along with the watch along where I do it with you, this is amazing. I really enjoy doing it, that's why this international break. I hate international football, but I'm actually enjoying this break because I've got this to look forward to every evening. So keep getting involved. Super show and super guests and super live comments as per usual. Speak to you all tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm hoping this is going to load up properly, not like last night. But if you have not get on tomorrow. Gavin O'Brien's still trying now. I can't get it on, Gavin. But if you call up first tomorrow, I'll put you on. Thanks for watching. Speak to you.